Moses, the great leader of Israel, lawgiver and the man who spoke with God face to face, led the Israelites out of Egypt, received the Ten Commandments, and stood as a powerful example of faith. Yet despite all of this, God did not allow Moses to enter the Promised Land. Why? The answer lies in Numbers 20. At Meribah, when the Israelites once again complained about having no water, God instructed Moses to speak to the rock so that water would flow. However, overwhelmed with anger and frustration, Moses struck the rock twice with his staff instead of speaking to it. Although water still came out, Moses had disobeyed a direct command. Because of this, God said to Moses, "You did not uphold my holiness among the Israelites. Therefore you will see the land from a distance, but you will not enter it." Deuteronomy 32:51-52. At first glance, the punishment may seem severe, but looking closely at Moses' actions, we see multiple failures. He disobeyed God's clear instruction. He misrepresented God's holiness before the people. This wasn't the first time water came from a rock. In Exodus 17, during an earlier crisis, God had instructed Moses to strike the rock, and water gushed forth. But in Numbers 20, God gave a different command: speak to the rock. Moses, however, reverted to striking it, and this act cost him dearly. Why was this mistake so serious? 1. Moses' unique relationship with God. Moses wasn't like any other prophet. He had experienced God's glory in extraordinary ways, speaking to God face to face, receiving divine revelations firsthand. With such privilege came a greater responsibility for trust and obedience. 2. The symbolism of the rock. In 1 Corinthians 10:4, the rock is described as a symbol of Christ. In Exodus 17:6, the rock was struck once, just as Christ was crucified once for our salvation. Hebrews 7:27. In Numbers 20, Moses was supposed to speak to the rock, a picture of prayer and faith after Christ's finished work. By angrily striking the rock again, Moses disrupted this beautiful typology, symbolically crucifying Christ a second time, something Scripture firmly opposes. Because of his disobedience, pride, and misrepresentation of God's plan, Moses was forbidden from entering the Promised Land, Numbers 20:12. Yet Moses accepted God's judgment without complaint. This serves as a warning for us today. The closer we walk with Jesus, the greater the call to obedience, holiness, and sanctification. Just as Moses faced consequences for his failure, believers too must remember that intimacy with God comes with higher expectations.